tonight. Because Bersih implied that there could have been a surprise, so we were expecting at least KJ to attend today. So therefore I had to be on standby. But at last, if you are in UMNO, I think they truly took to the heart that debate is really not their culture. So even an Oxford grad dare not come today, so I was asked to just give a running commentary. I know that it could have been a slight frustration because everyone was expecting Najib to be here. But I have to remind everyone what matters is the manifesto that will be acted on in 1 month's time. And I think everyone knows, looking at how the responses has been, in all probability we will have a new government. So it is I think it is more worthwhile to go through Pakatan Rakyat Manifesto. So it doesn't really make a difference the fact that Najib is not here tonight. When we first commenced and convened the committee to work on the manifesto, the first question that we asked is that if you were to implement the manifesto, what would be your ultimate objective? And the ultimate objective is to alleviate the daily burden that the majority of our people have to suffer every day because there is a distortion in our economy. We live in a society where the gap and disparity between the rich and poor is so huge. You have the richest of the richest living a life of kings and queens, yet you have the lowest and the poorest can't even afford basic amenities, and they struggle every day for day-to-day expenses. So that's why the first and I suppose the most important thrust of our manifesto is to address the problem of rising cost of living that our wages growth has not been able to catch up for the last 20 years. There are two distinctive approaches that have been taken by Pakatan Rakyat compared to Barisan Nasional. Barisan Nasional basically adopted two ways. They gave you PRIM 500 ringgit for the last 50 years, which translates to about 10 ringgit per year, which translates to about 80 cents per month. Hoping that would basically calm down a very angry public and buy their votes along the way. Number two, Barisan Nasional came out with a series of new products under the branding of One Malaysia. You have One Malaysia Cream, you have One Malaysia Kacang, you have One Malaysia whatsoever. But I think Dato' Sri Najib forget. What we want as Malaysians is to live our life with dignity. Just because we don't earn as much as Rosmah doesn't mean that we have to, everything that we buy or eat every day has to be no frills and no quality products of One Malaysia. Apabila Dato' Sri Najib melancarkan manifesto Barisan Nasional, dalam ucapan Dato' Sri Najib, beliau berkata, kalau bagi mereka yang tidak mampu untuk membeli barang berjenama, jangan bimbang. Kerajaan Barisan Nasional menepati janji, kamu boleh beli susu satu Malaysia yang tak ada jenama. So you can see ada perbezaan yang cukup besar di antara cara Pakatan Rakyat menangani masalah kos sara hidup rakyat dengan Barisan Nasional. Barisan Nasional menghina rakyat dengan memandang rendah rakyat, dan mereka ingat dengan RM500 dan dengan barangan yang murah ini rakyat boleh beli. The approach that we take is completely different and diametrically opposite to that. If you want to resolve the daily problem, you have to resolve the root causes that had caused the prices that had spiraled up all this while. And there are few structural problems in our economy. There are monopolies, there are concessions that are lopsided, there are disproportionate allocations that goes mainly to the cronies, and less to the people on the ground. And most importantly, when national financial resources are given in the form of corporate subsidies that only benefit a few, and those subsidies finally tak sampai kepada rakyat. Sebab itu untuk kita menyelesaikan masalah kos sara hidup, kita menyarankan beberapa perkara yang perlu ditukar serta-merta. Contoh, apabila kita berkempen untuk menurunkan harga kereta, ini adalah kerana hutang kereta adalah hutang yang kedua terbesar yang ditanggung oleh setiap keluarga. Car loans is the second biggest loans, highest loans that every family and every household had to bear every month selepas cukai rumah. Kalau sepatutnya harga kereta itu tanpa cukai, ansurannya hanyalah RM600 sebulan, tetapi oleh kerana cukai dikenakan, maka dia menjadi 2 kali ganda. Because the government levy a 100% tax on our cars, every month the government takes RM300-400 from the pocket of our people. Jadi untuk kita bantu rakyat, kita kena perbetulkan dengan 2 cara. Pertama, turunkan harga barang dan juga harga kos sara hidup dengan kita mengenepikan konsesi dan juga perjanjian-perjanjian yang membebankan rakyat. Sebab itu kita akan batalkan tol. Kerana tol adalah kos yang cukup besar. It is a major transportation cost. If you remove toll, you lower down transportation cost, insyaAllah you will be able to control inflation and lower down the price. Sebab itu, apabila kita tengok dan kita mampu untuk menurunkan harga minyak contohnya, for the time being, despite the worry that we are going down the road of subsidizing everything, but the priority now is to really help the poorest of the poorest. Dan caranya ialah, kalau kita menurunkan harga minyak, maka kos-kos yang lain juga akan turun. Dan ini cara yang terbaik buat masa sekarang untuk kita membantu rakyat Malaysia yang terbanyak. Sebab itu Datuk Seri Anwar sudah maklumkan, 7 Mei 2013 kita akan umumkan kita menurunkan harga minyak. Dan akhir sekali soal bukan kita. Pertama, kita kena turunkan kos yang kita tanggung. Kedua, kita kena pulangkan kembali wang ke dalam poket rakyat. I've always maintained all along in all our economic forum, RM1 is better to be in the pocket of the public and the people, not in the pocket of the minister. Kalau wang itu berada dalam poket kerajaan dan poket menteri, maka lebih besar risiko ia menjadi wang rasuah. The more you give money for the government to keep, the more they become very creative to come up with project to swindle that money. That's why, sebab itu kita ada menteri yang cukup kreatif, datang dengan projek 250 juta memelihara lembu dalam kondo, only in Malaysia. So it is best to make sure as much money is being kept in our pocket and not to go to government's pocket. And for that, any tax, any levy, any form of fees that we pay to government that are unjust, and levying a 100% tax on cars are unjust, because the majority of people who have to bear this burden are the poorest of the poorest, who have no choice but to own a car, especially in the remotest areas of Sabah and Sarawak. Sebab itu, kita telah menjanjikan di dalam manifesto kita bahawa kita akan menghapuskan cukai excise ke atas kereta, supaya dalam tempoh 5 tahun harga kereta akan turun separuh daripada harga yang ada sekarang.